you guys? It's your girl, the real Mrs. J. And you guys, I know it has been a good minute since you guys have heard from me. And if you watched my last video, you already know why I wasn't around. So finally everything is said and done as far as all three of the funerals. Um, and it was a lot, you guys. It was a lot. It was draining. It was um more so just it was tragic. I mean, like it was any bad thing that you could think of, that's exactly what it was. Like for real. Because I mean, of course, I told you guys that my aunt passed away. She was 82 years old. So the way that she passed away was exactly how all of us would want to pass away, and, surrounded by our family, um, just fall asleep, and that's the end. And you're at the end of your life. You're way in your 80s. You've seen some things, you've done some things, you've accomplished some things, and that's how we all want to go. So with her, it was not as rough. Um, and then with our other friend who passed away, he died suddenly from a heart attack. He was 46 years old. His birthday's next month. And, um, even with that, it's like what happened with my niece was it just took precedent over everything that was even going on. So we're gonna talk about in this video, we're gonna do this a little different. In light of everything that I just went through, it just really made me look at a lot of things in retrospect, and how the order of things and the order of life is so important, and the order of a household is so very important. And when you're speaking in terms of postpartum depression, because that is something that my niece was experiencing. Um, and not only was she experiencing that, she did deal with some depression, anxiety, and all of that. So she already dealt with that on a daily basis. But being in a situation where after she just had her baby and was going through postpartum, being sleep deprived, because she took on a job where she was working at night, and she would be up with her daughter, the baby, during the day. And like, for anybody, that's a strain on anybody. I don't care who you are. And being a woman, the older that you get and you have babies, it's not as easy as it was when you were younger, because now your body is, you don't have as much energy as you had when you were younger, to be staying up all night, and still working and being able to function. So age has a lot to do with it as well. But the most important part, and what I'm trying to get at, is the fact that marriage is very important. And a lot of the times, people, it's like marriage does not exist. It's no longer a priority. It just seems like a priority, and first and foremost is having a baby. It's like no one plans to build first and get to know one another, and do those things and accomplish some goals together, and then have kids. Because from when my experience of when I had my kids, it was an emotional roller coaster. And it took for a man, it took love for somebody to even put up with a female that's pregnant. Like, because y'all know that we go through like 15 different personalities in one sitting. So it really takes love and patience, from the other, from your partner, when you are going through situations like that. Now, not only that, we as women, we were not built to raise children alone. No one should, whether it's male or female, no one should raise a child by themselves because we're just not built that way. We're built to have mom and dad in the household and to balance everything out. So I'm just gonna give you guys an example. One of my friends, uh, they they're married and they have a lot of kids, and they had their kids naturally, so they have their kids at home. But what he told my brother is that when his wife, like after she has the kids, after she has the babies, he can look in her face and tell that she is not herself. So he's in tune with her. So he knows that she's not herself. And at that point, when he realizes that she's not herself, he really kicks in the overdrive with helping with the kids and, kind of giving her a break and giving her some time to herself to kind of get herself together. And that partnership is like so very important. So this just leads me to this point where my niece went through this frustration because she had someone that was in her life, but that person wasn't there in the house with her 24 hours a day, or to give her that time and that balance that's needed between two parents. And that frustration and not having somebody to be in tune with her and have that love for her, that they're in tune with her so much so that they can tell and kind of give her a break. She didn't have that. So that's what pretty much led to the demise, especially of being sleep deprived. Like anybody being sleep deprived, you are irrational anyways. You're not making the proper decisions. Um so anyway, so another example of that is this. So I was what made me want to do a video on this as well, not only because of my niece's situation, but it's this happens on a regular basis where there are mothers who are just stressed out and down and depressed and they can't take it anymore. And here's an example. Let me just show you guys. I saw this on Facebook, and this girl said, my friend asked her BD, which is her baby daddy, for a break from her kids for one day. Literally said in the text before one of them gets hurt. He never responded. Well, today she unalived herself and her kids. My heart hurts so bad for them because he could have just got them. Man, my baby daddy never ever give me breaks, so I can only imagine how she was at her wits' end. Our support systems need to be way better. Rest in heaven to my friend and her babies. And so they had like in the comment section in that on that Facebook post, she actually showed the text messages of her, asking the child's father for a break. And when she's speaking in support of like we need in support systems, the support systems is marriage. We need to bring back marriage and families. We that's what we're missing. Damn the support system, we're missing the family unit. And we are not built to raise children on our own. We're not built that way. We're just not. I mean, if you even look at the animal kingdom, where you have the lions, like they're out there and they're the ones that are going out there to gather the food and hunt. And the lioness, they're with the cubs. They're with the kids. They're nurturing the kids and taking care of the kids. And the lion comes home with the food and everything that they need. Because that's how the structure of the household and the family unit is supposed to function. You can't watch the cubs and work and gather the food. That's too much. We weren't built to do that. So now you're seeing an uptick of women unaliving themselves because they're tired. Society has us all screwed up, like screwed up and backwards, where you think that the whole goal of a relationship is to have a baby. No. The end goal of a relationship is family, is to be together. Now, another example of this, and this right here, I wanted to talk about this because this was going on with DDG and Hallie. And let me just share my screen real quick. All right, so this is on TikTok. So this him, he's getting emotional because he went to see his son and he couldn't see his son. So I'm just gonna play this real quick and then I'll tell y'all how I feel about it.
I wouldn't even gonna stream today. I'm like, I ain't streaming today. I'm gonna be with my son. I plan my whole day to be with him. Then I get there and I can't, and I'm kicked out of the crib, can't see him, whatever. I've been dealing with this forever where I feel like I'm a secondary parent.
Okay, so he said that he goes through this all the time because he feels like a secondary parent. That's because you are a secondary parent, Daryl. You made a baby, but you didn't make her your wife first. So because y'all are not together and you live in two separate homes, this is what happens. You don't have those same privileges that you would have if you were in a marriage with his mother and you were waking up with your family every day. You don't get to do that, Daryl. You don't. And somebody needs to tell you. Somebody in your life needs to be straight up with you and be honest with you. This is what happens when you just make babies and that's it. Now, the backstory on that situation is he went because he wanted to spend time with his son, but his son was sick and he had RSV, which RSV is very serious. My oldest daughter had it when she was a baby. It's awful. They're wheezing and there's really nothing that you can do about it because it's a part of the virus. And his mom was sick. So you just go over there and you just expect for things to be the way you want them to be. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. So when you're co-parenting, that's exactly what it is. Co-parent, secondary parent. So how you feel is exactly what you are. Somebody need to be straight up with this little man. I'm just saying. But anyway, you guys, so just the whole thing in a nutshell is stop just having babies with, men and women. Stop just having babies. Start making families. Start making people your husband, your wife. That's what's missing. That's why there's so many stressed out women out here. And there's single dads out here too that are going through just as much. So we're not gonna act like they're not going through it as well. But I'm telling you, as women, we are not built to raise kids by ourselves. I don't care what these women out here telling y'all on how these strong single mothers and they did this and they did that. Trust me, when the real Mrs. J tells you, nobody wants to be a single mom. Nobody. It's no fun in it. It's nothing to brag about. None of that. Nobody wants to be a single mom. Now, shout out to the single moms because y'all are the real MVPs out here because I can't even imagine. But nobody's going to tell me that that's what they want to do. That's a flat out lie. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But you guys tell me what y'all think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, The Real Mrs. J. And I love y'all for sticking around and supporting me through all of my mess. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.